Take two. What's up, guys? So as you can tell from the description of the video, I got some discus. Check out these fish, guys. Amazing discus. I went to Raleigh a couple weeks ago to get some fluvial stratum, and I was right around the corner from a good friend of mine's house too, from NC Bettas. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna go check out what he's got, maybe get some guppies or a betta. I was really wanting a betta, so I showed up. I called him up. He said he was home, and he said he just got a shipment and he was actually going through right now. So I hit him up, showed up at his house. He's got thousands of bettas he's unboxing, and to most people it's a little overwhelming, but he's awesome. All you got to do is be like, hey, he'll ask you what kind of colors you're looking for, or what you tell him is, hey, I just want a really nice betta. Can you show me some examples? And all of his bettas are nice, but he'll pick out like 10 or 12 different varieties, and then you can make a decision on that. And he just got a bunch of guppies in, high-end strains, kois, he's got albino kois, turquoise, got dragons. I mean, he's got some really quality AAA guppies as well. And I showed up at his house, and I'm sitting there looking, and I see all these discus, and I'm like, oh my god, these are amazing. And this size discus, I mean, these guys are big as my hand. He's huge. And typically this fish will run you $120 to $150 per fish. I got him for half that price, guys. Go see two at NC Betta Fish. He's on Facebook, and he had dozens of discus, and he just got another shipment the other day. I bought four. I put all four of them in this tank originally, but the two Marlboros right there, they're already breeding. Let me show you. I mean, you see in the back, they've laid eggs probably 5 or 6 times already. I'm not sure if the male is pollinating or not though, but anywho, they keep eating the eggs. I put one of those watering spikes in there that I use for my pleco caves, straight up and down out of the gravel, hoping they would lay the eggs on there so I could pull them and put them in another tank so they won't eat them. But they didn't lay the eggs on that. They've laid them on that in that corner every time. But I pulled the other two discus out of the tank because the red ones were super aggressive. I mean, it didn't matter what they do. They would be hiding, and he's still trying to chase them. So I put them in my 35-gallon hex tank. This is a 46-gallon bow front tank, which I love. It's one of my first tanks I bought. It was resealed when I bought it, and I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. I also have in this tank 3 L134s, leopard frog plecos. You can see him in his cave chilling. There's one there. The other one usually hangs out right over here as well. There's another one in there. You could barely see him. Yeah, but anyways, I got 3 of those guys, and I love them. They're beauties. I got this tank at 85 degrees right now, but in the plants, the Nubius, I don't know if you guys remember one of my past videos, I cut this plant back to nothing. It was just a rhizome left, and it took about 6 months to finally grow in nice and thick. And then on the back, I just glued to a couple of these plant spikes some of the Java fern from this Java fern on wood, which I got from Corey at Aquarium Co-op. Check these guys out though. You want to talk about quality. Red marbles, I mean giant ones. He is huge, adult size, guys. I also went ahead and upgraded the heater to Eheim Jaeger. This is 125 watt, and it seems to be plenty for this tank. I bought a bunch of heaters not too long ago as well, but they were the Aquion heaters that only maintain at supposedly 78 degrees, but I bought 3 or 4 of them and they were varying from 76 to 77.5. None of them were over 78. Even I took one of the bigger ones made for a bigger tank and put it in a 20-gallon, still wasn't at 78, which is fine for most fish. But you know, Discus, I've kept Discus at 78 before, but I've never been able to keep them longer than a year. So this time I made sure that there's not a whole lot of waste going on inside the tanks, being there's only 3 plecos in there. L134 leopard frog pleco, my favorite fish. And this guy, I'm doing a 50% water change every week, and I'm keeping nitrates below 20. And the Discus seem to be doing really good. I mean, they're breeding every day. I haven't been trying to feed them any. I feed them bloodworms one day, brine shrimp another day, and beef heart the third day. And I just vary between the 3 frozen. I want to grow these guys out big. I've heard that you can get these guys massive. And if I eventually do get them that big, I'll switch them out probably to the 75-gallon. But I feel like 2 fish, and I know you're supposed to keep this fish in school, guys. And I planned on it, but I should have bought more at one time because the aggression was ridiculous with the 4 of them in this tank. These are red Marlboros. There's another name because I know people don't like Marlboro because it associates with the cigarette company, but I love this fish. I pulled up and I seen him at his house and I was like, man, yes. And I said, and he says, oh, you want Discus? And I was like, man, I can't afford those fish, to be honest with you. They're just so much. I know what they cost. And he was like, well, it might surprise you what they cost from me. And he told me his price, and I jumped all over it, guys. I was like, yeah, let me get those 2. I seen they were breeding already in his tank. Like I said, these guys have bred 5 times already. But I'm not sure if that male is pollinating those eggs yet. So we're going to keep an eye on them. Be nice to get some baby Discus, but that's not what I'm in it for. Let's take a look at my other tank, guys. Check these ones out. I love this fish too. Let me get this thing adjusted a little bit. Check them out, guys. Okay, this is my 35-gallon hex tank. This tank's from 1986. It has a date on the tank. This was my dad's tank when I was growing up, and he believed in a Noah's Ark of fish tanks where he bought 2 of everything. Two red-tailed shark. I mean, it was crazy. And he still today, he's like, hey, why don't you get 2 of those? Why'd you buy so many? Because I'm a big fan of schooling fish. I like 20 to 30 tetras, you know, or 20 to 30 rainbow fish. I love big schools, and my dad's always like, why did you just buy 1 fish when you could have had 15 different types? And he doesn't understand, but that's what I'm into, you know. And this tank has come a long way. I had a real bad outbreak. So this was the tank that I was trying to do sponge filters only on. Guys, it doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. I know I see a bunch of y'all out there with your sponge filter tanks, crystal clear water looking amazing. I had nothing but issues with the sponge filters. I still have one of them in there now. And here's where my issue lies. I change my water every Saturday. Every Saturday I do water change. And after every water change, it took 3 or 4 days for those sponge filters to clear the water up. It did clear the water up, and never this clear. But it just wasn't quick enough for me, guys. I'm not looking for that. I want pristine water quality. I want my fish to be happy. I want my plants to thrive. I don't chase anything as far as like pH or KH or any of that stuff. I just make sure nitrates are low, and I overfilter. So I did finally, I broke down and I went out and got an Aqua Clear 70. Typically on this tank, guys, I would put 2 Aqua Clear 70s. I know y'all think that's crazy. There's not much flow with these things, man. If you fill this tank up all the way, you're not going to have an issue with too much flow. Like I said, that last tank, the 46 gallon both front, has 2 Aqua Clear 110s on it. It's a 46 gallon. I mean, if like my 75 gallons, y'all know I got a FX6 and a FX4 on both of them. And it's not too much. I mean, my fish aren't getting blown around. It's all about how you your intakes and outtakes. If your outtakes are pointing up towards the surface, you're going to get amazing surface agitation. It's just, you got to know what you're doing. And some people say not to over filter because you're getting too much flow, but also on the FX6 and the FX4, they're adjustable. But let's get back to this video. We got 2 more Discus here, and these guys, I love this fish. Look how sweet they are. I mean, they are just sweethearts. They come up and hang out. Come over here so we can see you guys. Here, let's move it over here a little bit. Check them out though. I've been posting pictures. These are I think they're called red turquoise Discus, and occasionally when they're flashing like a lot of color, they'll get some stripes as well. There's like several bars going down the middle. I don't know a ton about Discus, guys. I know how to take care of them. I know that temperature is important. pH is also important, but I think those are more towards the wild caught Discus. You know, most of these Discus are tank raised, so they're raised in waters. These were imported, but most of them are raised in the same water we use. Some of them might be raised in high pH, and some might be raised in low pH, but these guys are adjusting real well. I haven't had any issues. Look at them. God, I love them. I could watch this fish all day too. But I had a real bad algae problem with the sponge filters. I mean, there was hair algae. I've never dealt with hair algae like I did. But it was crazy. I cut the lights off for 10 days. It was so bad. I cut the lights off for 10 days and it went away. And let me tell you what I've seen in this 10 days. These plants were growing better with no light than with the light. I know it sounds crazy, but I swear to you guys, I wasn't getting this plant growth before. And I come back and I turn the lights back on and they're thriving. I got those swords in the back. It's the wind tie crypts, the loosened crypts. I got some Java fern over there that I took from the other tank. I cut a piece off of that Java fern on wood. I got a bunch of Nubius Nana Petite that I glued to the wood. I do have a little bit of a blackbeard algae problem right now, but it's just real minute, and I'm spot treating it with peroxide. So I fill a syringe each water change, and I usually do 10 cc's to 10 gallons. So I'll put about 35 cc's at the most in here, especially with the Discus. I'm trying to be real careful because I know how sensitive they are, and I'm just spot treating it, and it's dying and it's going away. It takes forever, but I've already battled blackbeard algae in another tank before, and I know how to handle it, so it's not as scary as it has to be. A lot of you guys with carpet plants and stuff, it can be real nasty. I mean, you just, one of my tanks, I got so fed up that I just pulled all the plants out and started over. But I still got the sponge filter in there, just for surface agitation, because this tank is about 85 to 86 as well. And they recommended putting, well, Corey from Aquarium Co-op, that's when I say, usually most of the time, that's where my information's come from, because I trust him. He's helped me with this hobby from the start, and I've learned so much from watching his videos. Love him. All these plants come from Aquarium Co-op too, except for this little my I don't know the name of it. My fiance calls it palm trees. I typically grow it in my CO2 tank. Does really well, and it's a fast grower. And this tank is not thriving, but it still grows. And we're gonna see. I got the fluval stratum, about 2-3 inches of bed down there, and it's my new favorite substrate. I love it. I mean, and I know, okay, you guys are gonna tell me bare bottom tanks and light bottoms and a light background, because you'll get peppering, and I've dealt with that in the past, and I'm working on switching that tank up. I've already put a blue background that I had, but I'm switching up. I want lighter than that. I hate the blue gravel, but I'm gonna go super light on the background, almost like an ice blue, and I'm thinking about getting some acrylic and actually painting it, but I'm not changing this one. I'm loving how these fish are popping off of the black and how the plants are popping. Check them out, guys. Discus 2 from NC Betta Fish looks out, and he's a great dude, man. He always invites you to his house. Look at him. Look at him. How could I not have taken him home, guys? Half the price of typical retail, and they were so high quality. I was like, yeah, let me get 4 of those. And he just got a bunch of yellow in too, which I love the yellows. They're beautiful. But yeah, the 70 gallons. So I put the 70 Aquaclear 70 on there, and I took out the carbon, and I left one sponge in there, and then I just filled it all the way to the top with bio rings. But yeah, guys, check it out. Look at these guys. 35-gallon hex tank. Might not be big enough for them long term, but they love this tank. I mean, they're sweethearts. My dad comes over, hangs out, and they just come up to the glass. The red Marlboros, not so much. They're just like straight into breeding mode. That's all they care about. But these guys, and they swim together like that, they're so cool. I love them. Yeah, but my dad finally gave me this tank, and it come together real nice, and it's filling in. I'm loving both of the crypts down there. I may add some more rocks as like a wall to separate them, like some smaller rocks, some river stone or something. And you see the Eheim Jaeger on the back there. I threw another one in this tank. I think that's a 125 also. And it's maintaining temperature at, where's my thermometer thing? Let me see. I'll show you guys. Got it. All right, let's see. So yeah, let's see what the temperature is. 85, 86, 85.8. Yeah, right about there. And they're thriving. Love these guys. Beautiful tank. 1986. Alright guys, we're about 20 minutes now, so I'm gonna cut this one short. Got 4 new Discus from 2 at NC Betta Fish. Phenomenal quality, affordable. What else can you ask for, guys? And friendly. That's a bonus. Alright guys, if you have any questions or comments, drop them below. Hey, and if you guys can do me a favor, subscribe or hit the like button. It just helps me out tremendously getting these videos out there. I'm rather new, so anything to help, guys. I just want to show my content and quality and my passion for these fish, give them the best quality of life they can have. Alright guys, peace.